inflammaging. We've talked about that, you and I, but it's getting a lot of talk. So I think the most important thing is it turns out that the immune-related phenomenons, so how your body is turning off cancers and viruses by attacking them via our immune system, basically controlled by the thymus.
Yeah.
And that is probably the least recognized, maybe the most underappreciated tissue in the body, the thymus gland.
Nobody thinks about it. Right?
Nobody thinks about the thymus gland. We didn't get much information about it when we
just know that it's there.
It's there. And the thymus gland really is kind of the conductor of the immune system. And it turns out that that immune system is supposed to do a couple of things. I'm going to just, again, we're at the doctor's lounge. There are three things that really control most of the death in the world today. Cardiovascular death, number one. Cancer death, kind of number two, kind of is number two. And then neurodegenerative disease is number three. So the Alzheimer's and the cognitive impairment, Parkinson's. So it turns out that I think they're all part of a push-pull, not just this idea of inflammaging, it suggests that, for instance, atherosclerosis or heart disease is your body seeing problems in the circulation and sending immune cells to try and stop it in the form of atherosclerosis. Very similar to the body having little cancer genes turning on, or little cancer, oncotic cells, cells that could be precancerous turning on, and the body turning them off. Coming with thymus-regulated immune cells to turn off. It's what they're there for. They're supposed to suppress these sort of DNAs that go a little crazy, and they're supposed to turn them off and get rid of them. And that process is very important. It unfortunately can be overregulated and do more of that than it should, and therefore you get growing atherosclerosis, or it's hitting the walls of the circulatory system. It could be hitting the walls of the neurocirculatory system or the brain. It could go out of whack, and that's when
get your autoimmune diseases.
Get your autoimmune disease going as well. So the flip side of that is if it doesn't work well enough, then the cancers proliferate. When it stops working, the cancers proliferate. The infections can kill you. So that push-pull explains, A, why we have these three major disorders, and then why inflammaging, or the inflammatory rate, seems to change as we get older. We start talking about these senescent cells and cells that are now being discovered that our immune rate is actually what is the marker for aging for us. And as our immune system over time turns down, we age faster. And therefore we can get a clock that says your immune system's turning down faster than you're aging. You better do something about it because you're aging faster, or your immune system's great and you're aging slower. So this idea of inflammaging can be looked at with blood tests like CRP, the most common one. There's a few other ones, but chronic reactive protein, C-reactive protein, is a marker of the inflammation that starts to get out of whack. And we have medications now that can put it back in whack so that our aging is our biologic age and our inflammatory age are closer to the same. Did I say that okay? I felt like I maybe went a little awry.
I think that was, that's exactly what we're trying to do, is just decreasing, like at least having your chronological age and biologic age at least the same. You don't want your biologic age to advance your chronologic age.
It's almost like it gets stuck on, like you need to have inflammatory cells. You need to have your immune cells going after your, early cancers in the body that need to be shut off.
Yes.
But if it's turned on too high, then, and this happens to a lot of us, it's called, they call it like a non-infectious inflammation.
They think that some of those senescent cells are actually immune, like causing. So like the body isn't really sure what to do with them. They're supposed to die, but they're not. So they're kind of releasing these small amounts of inflammatory cells.
Right. So in the doctor's lounge, we would say, well, we got to all check a CRP, because if we're inflaming, if our body is telling us that it's aging too fast because of a systemic inflammation, that doesn't mean that, like, I have a shoulder that hurts me and my CRP is up. It means that you have general increased CRP, and that this part of your body that was designed to work perfectly is now overworking, and we have to figure out ways of getting it back to normal. And there are drugs, like a very old one called colchicine, which was considered to be a nuisance generic, and now it's becoming mainstream in cardiology
to decrease that inflammation.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I actually had a very, very good friend that had his heart sac became inflamed from a virus, and he took colchicine, and it took all of it away. He was actually hospitalized because he got fluid around the heart. Took the colchicine as part of his treatment, went completely away. So it regulated his inflammatory system, that his thymus wasn't doing, I guess, good enough a job at 60. As like a fourth grade friend of mine that grew up together. And it reduced the inflammatory process, took away the water around his heart, and he is a perfect today. So that was specific to one organ, but imagine that in the brain, imagine that in other places. So it looks like that this inflammaging is going to be something we talk more and more about as our new kind of longevity clock. That there's a few clocks. Like people will talk about biologic clocks way too much. There's this, people say, well, you're biologic, you're 60 years old, but your body is 55 or 70 or whatever. And the truth of the matter is, I don't think we can do it towards the body. We can do it towards an organ.
And yes. That's why the testing, when you get that, like the true age, you get it back, it's per system, not necessarily overall.
Right. They can do an overall, but that's kind of like a mishmash. It's really like, and really what you care about mostly is your heart and your brain, because if those two are older than you want, it doesn't really matter what most other organs are. I mean, there are some cases when one could talk about, say, a kidney or something that's very, very important, the liver. But really, those two, you got to make sure that they are younger than your stated age if you want to achieve longevity, correct?
Yes, correct. And the immune system, we'll add that one too, because that's an important one.
What was the test you said that?
The true age.
Tell me about the true age again.
So
I know I got it.
Yes. So it's
different
just
when it's you,
It's the different clocks that they measure out. So it's just that blood test, and we'll have to bring up the report.
Bring the report. I think maybe we'll do it next week with the true age and the creatine. I think those will be two good things if people clamor for it a little bit. So that's kind of the inflammaging situation.